Dear friends, well, hello everyone. On air is Investors. Sintiamake Sartin is Sindina Samage. My name is Max, and today we will talk about US stocks which continue to fall sharply. Before this, I must say that this video is not an investment recommendation and is for informational purposes only. Thank you. Let's go. America never falls, friends. It always grows. And here on the chart, when we saw how the Nasdaq fell by 2% literally on Friday, and before that we also saw a decline, and from its peaks, which were just a couple of weeks ago, the American stock market has already fallen by 5%. Should we panic or should we buy? Today we will answer this question. So even on the 4-hour charts, we don't have any hint of a signal on the RSI, because signals on the RSI in the American market occur so rarely that even on the 4-hour time frame they appear. Look, when was the last time? Almost half a year ago, even more. Right now, we have the last restraining factor, the 55th quarterly moving average. Here it is marked in red, and for example, on the 7th of November, we bounced exactly from it. Alapin potfasi is ati. Right now, we still haven't closed the model of the 8th and 21st exponential moving averages. And that's also good. Plus, we are getting support in the form of the 55th moving average. So in summary, next week, if we bounce upwards and start growing, then it could be very, very interesting. By the way, in the previous video, I told you about Google stocks and mentioned the setup with which you can enter these stocks and the maximum values this stock can reach. So we were analyzing the video right here. I was describing a setup with a 5% stop, with the first target at 5%, the second target at another 3.6%, and the final target at 3.8%. I warned you not to be greedy. In total, try to achieve about 12 to 13% growth in this deal in approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Now, let's look closely at what our maximum target was. $288. What was the value here? $290 to $291 was the maximum value, after which a crash occurred. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, you are losing money, missing out on profit, and it's the perfect time to do so, meaning subscribe right now. So, friends, today in the episode, we will talk about various stocks, not only from the artificial intelligence sector. By the way, regarding the artificial intelligence sector, I have a separate episode on the channel. Please watch it. It's very interesting, and the information is more than relevant and will remain so for a long time. Now we will talk about stocks that have dropped significantly, or on the contrary have not dropped but are capable of falling or rising. In general, you have heard about all these stocks, and these stocks can indeed be of interest to you. The first stock is Tesla. Tesla, naturally, from my Fibonacci, from my level 475 to 470 fell down. I mentioned that there could be a crazy short here. Check out the episode from a month ago. There I analyzed the Tesla short accordingly. Here our picture looks worse than in the Nasdaq index because we have a failure of the 55th moving average. And moreover, guys, here we have the Fibonacci, which I just can't extend. I'm really just too lazy. And this Fibonacci is at the level of 400, well, at $417. The next one is already 367. So we have severely broken through $417 and the moving average. All this suggests that we could still fall quite a bit with Tesla, actually. The 4-hour RSI almost hit, but I wouldn't buy big in such a scenario. What would I do with Tesla shares? I would try to wait for the Fibonacci golden ratio level, $367. That is, if the stock falls by another 10%, it will be, well, very, very nice. And from there, you can start to slowly buy back. The next stock we have is also quite popular, and you have probably heard about it many times. It is featured in the topic of artificial intelligence. Let's take a look at semiconductors. Yes, today we have TSM as a guest, and TSM, what can you say? Well, TSM tells us the following. On the 4-hour charts, our moving averages are merged. On the daily charts, we still have support in the form of the 55th. Yes, quarterly. If EPE says, say, by the way, it played very beautifully here back in August. From there, we actually got a powerful 30% increase upwards. Therefore, Rosaiki is not yet on the 4-hour charts. I wouldn't sell for now. If you have shares, yes, I would set a stop under the moving average somewhere at 268 to 269. And this would be my stop if I have a position. If you don't have a position, it's hard to say for now. You need to watch for a reversal with the moving average. If it starts, you could potentially see a movement of about 7%. Why not? The next stock we have, by the way, leave a comment. Who knows this stock? Who has traded it? So this is Freshworks. If here the situation is very different from other stocks, I would say from all the stocks in the Nasdaq. And we really do have some support here. It's a bit crooked, I drew it by hand, but let's try to even put a horizontal line. It will still turn out crooked because we will need to set an additional level here. In short, we have reached global support, yes, which is more than 3 years old. We are a bit lacking in confidence here due to the absence of a weekly RSI. We had a similar picture here, and then it was possible to catch a reversal in these stocks by 60 or 70%. That's very powerful. So right now we had a daily reversal. Moreover, look, the market is falling, the stock is rising, and we had an attempt to enter on October 20th, after which there was a small dip to the purchase point and then growth again. From that point, we had about 10% growth. Well, it's quite normal, but given the volatility of this asset, I would say it's even a bit low. Therefore, perhaps here it is worth, an attempt you see on Friday, an attempt to capture the 55th moving average. And overall, it went quite well. That is, we captured it and pulled back, settled on it. And therefore, in my opinion, if the market and the 821st, by the way, guys, sorry, the 821st again, yes, the last time we had such a formation was actually in the summer. Yes, in July, on the 20th of July. Therefore, if we have a reversal on Nasdaq, watch closely specifically for Nasdaq. We will be trying to take about 20% here, I think. So the next asset we have already, well, maybe not. Let's still talk a little more about, a bit about AI and its connection. What do we have on CLS? Let's look at the chart here. Of course, it is very different from the previous one. Well, because if I only showed you charts like this, like Amazon, like the whole index, I don't know, something else, it would be very boring. The 4-hour frame is still the same as in the index. It's just incredible. In April, we only had a 4-hour RSI, and that's it. Now there's not even a 4-hour RSI. The daily charts, like the index, found support at the 55th moving average. It seems like they might still fall a bit more. Overall, in my opinion, we have the same strategy here as in TSM. That is, we can try to set the stop behind the moving average somewhere at 258. Yes, there is an 11% stop, but I think that your profit is likely not there, not 20%, but 100% plus in this stock if you have held it for a long time. Therefore, the stop is below 260. If there is a reversal with the moving average, then naturally for speculators who do not have a position, this is an attempt to make 25%. The next asset we have is Motos. It's no longer the sector of artificial intelligence hype. This is a bit about something else, guys. It's a bit about arbitrage. So gold has been rising lately, right? That is since the beginning of November. Gold has started to recover its movement. This is a reverse retest, as I call it. So essentially, a return to the mean strategy, right? The strategy of returning to the mean is happening in gold. However, let's turn to the high-risk JNUK, right? Double ETF on young gold miners, and it's clear that America is falling and things aren't going very well here with companies, especially those with small capitalization. But if we kind of compare the underlying asset and what is happening within this asset here with increased risk, then we understand that usually with such a divergence, it's worth taking the assets. There are, of course, two strategies here. That is, you can take only this asset or you can implement the second strategy. You can take GENUC and you can open a short position in the underlying asset of gold itself. But I would not recommend the second option. After all, it is very risky to short such a global trend as gold. If GENUC shows a rebound, a reversal by the way, even the 8th and 21st moving averages here indicate entry, and the 55th indicates holding. This reminds me of something, we already discussed this today, talked about it. Then we might have from 30% to 200. I would be a bit cautious, set it somewhere around 195. You can catch 25% rebounds in GENUC, but again, if you ask me how I would trade no more than 5% of such an asset. Okay, and the final stock for today is a wild idea, as wild as the Tesla short I mentioned 2 weeks ago, which fully materialized. It's a short on EQT. Accordingly, yes, shorting gas stories is super dangerous, especially before winter, or rather at the beginning of winter, essentially. But what do we see on the chart now? We see that we have indeed formed a very strong extremum, and the last time in June of this year we had exactly the same level, $60 per share. We had exactly the same technical formation, and now we are getting the same thing. I don't know where traders are looking if they don't see stories like this and how they keep feeding you information about the prospects of gas, about how it could continue to grow. I don't understand how one cannot play out such a short. I'm not saying it will drop to 44 or anything like that. No, a short is always a shorter position. So let's just try to make 5 to 7 or 8% here. While other stocks are falling, you will have a hedge through a short of an asset, very clear and very logical. So friends, we are analyzing even more stocks from different perspectives in our X. The link to X will be in the description of this video. And for this video, by the way, please give a reaction, support the channel, because we are just starting, guys. These are our first videos with technical analysis. This was Investory. My name is Max, and see you next week. Bye.